Well, hello, it's the 24th of October 2020 and we're at Manly, Wynnum Manly, and we're on the Esplanade here. There's some great areas to talk about along here, and it's a really lovely area as well. Wynnum Manly, part of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. It's a seaside suburb, has a very rich history, and both the shorelines of the bay and the edge of the creek have been considerably altered since white settlement. Low-lying land was reclaimed by dredging the creek, creating a much deeper, narrower channel, and much of the parkland adjoining the bay was also reclaimed, particularly in the 1930s. There's heaps of loads of species of birds and reptiles, and only 2 species of native animals, flying foxes and ring-tailed possums, were recorded in Wynnum in the 1981 Wildlife Survey. So Wynnum and Manly are 2 very old suburbs on the shores of Moreton Bay, just south of the Brisbane River. Both suburbs have a strong history and a strong community. The surrounding suburbs are also seen as part of Wynnum Manly. So it's believed that 3 cedar cutters who were blown off course on a voyage from Sydney in 1823 were the first white people to visit the Wynnum Manly area. And the area was very popular with a number of Aboriginal tribes that regularly visited or lived in the area for hundreds of years before the Europeans visited this area. The Wynnum area was occupied by the Wynnum people, spelt W-I-N-N-A-M. Eleanora Park was an Aboriginal campsite known as Black's Camp until 1976. In 1902, the Wynnum Shire Council was created, and in 1913 it became the town of Wynnum before being amalgamated into Greater Brisbane in 1925. The Waterloo Bay Hotel was bought by George Gibb and opened in 1889, and the Wynnum Wading Pool, which is just over yonder. We'll have a closer look at that. We'll walk over there soon and have a look at that. But that wading pool was a Depression era project, opened in 1933. Of course, there's been improvements since then, but the parkland was reclaimed from the sea, and a wall was built and backfilled with an area left empty to create the Tidal Pool. So it's not exactly sure where the name Wynnum had its roots. There have been a few suggestions. One, that it was adapted, the name Wynnum, from the Aboriginal word for the breadfruit tree Wynnum, spelt W-I-N-N-U-M, and another is that it came from the Aboriginal word soldier crab, spelt W-I-N-Y-U-M. While the area could also be named after one of the early settlers, Wenham, spelt W-E-N-H-A-M. So the bayside suburbs of Wynnum and Manly were originally known as Oyster Point and Wyvenlee, after the first house in the area. The railway line to Cleveland was completed in 1889, and this led to a surge of growth in the district, and by the early 1900s it had become a popular seaside resort. Well, today the residents and visitors highly value the district's cool breezes, bay views and friendly country town atmosphere. And I've been lucky enough to find a pictorial aerial view of the area, and we're sort of standing around here. The wading pool that I was talking about is here, and we'll be doing a walk just around this area here and perhaps finishing over here, and then that's part A, and then we'll do part B over near, walking along toward the Manly Marina. So we'll do part B on that as well at the same time. We'll do part A video and then a part B video. All right, let's have a look at this area for a start. I'll just be crossing the esplanade up here fairly soon, getting to the other side. It's a little bit windy here today, but I've got this different microphone on which can handle the wind a lot better than my previous mic. So even though you will hear the wind, it won't be as bad as what it was before with that other mic I had. I did a walk at Redcliffe, and the wind noise was pretty bad on that, particularly going out onto the jetty. So I'd like to do another walk around that area, slightly different a route I'll take, a slightly different route when I go back to Redcliffe. But I'll still go back to the jetty there. And I'll actually go to Shorncliffe again, and this time I'll actually walk out onto the Shorncliffe jetty when I'm in that area again. Okay, I'm just going to cross here if I can get up. Yep, no cars, all right, I'm going across. Really lovely area for families along here. There's Pinkenbar up in the distance. You can hear me over the wind. I'll zoom up. Let's get out of this wind a bit. Go down this way, might not be so bad. Just a nice spot for families, isn't it? Beautiful area. Oh, here's this tidal pool. People can swim in. Great idea for the community. No one's in there right now. It's a bit cold, I suppose, today. Wynnum wading pool. Jetty, just going out that way. There's a fish off there, obviously. They're walking along there. Some history on the Quandamooka people. Moreton Bay and its many islands are known to its indigenous inhabitants as Quandamooka. Research shows that people have lived in this area for at least 20,000 years, and Moreton Bay has provided food, employment, recreation and a home for countless generations from the original Quandamooka peoples to all present-day Australians. Moreton Bay is home to a diversity of animal and plant life and is a wetland shire of international significance. The unique and ever-changing geography of the bay creates many different habitats that in turn have led to a remarkable biological diversity. Vast areas are now designated as a marine park and are also listed under the United Nations Convention of Wetlands of International Importance. The indigenous population probably never exceeded 5,000, and although separate tribal and language groups did form, territorial rights and varying customs were respected. The Southern Bay Islands and much of the mainland were the territory of the Tidal, while the Nunnacal clan occupied the northern part of Stradbroke Island, with the Nudgee people on Moreton Island. Mugumpini. Hope I pronounced them okay, those names. Even though they have had continual contact with European settlers since the 1820s, the Quandamooka people comprise an identifiable community that has never ceased to exist. The first Europeans to enter Moreton Bay were the crew of the sloop Norfolk under the command of Lieutenant Matthew Flinders in 1799. But European settlement did not begin in Wynnum and Manly until 60 years later, when Crown land went on sale. The soaring timber sculpture commemorates the original timber jetty, which was built here in 1882. It was known as the number 2 jetty. The number 1 jetty was at Wynnum Creek, and the jetty was built to provide access for land buyers of the new residential sites being subdivided from the existing 20 to 25 hectare blocks. So the timber sculpture commemorates the original timber jetty built here in 1882, and that's the timber sculpture there, right at the beginning there of the bridge, of the jetty rather. And before construction of the railway or a trafficable road from Brisbane town, a boat trip down the river and across the bay was the most reliable method of travel. A fenced swimming pool enclosure and changing rooms were added later on at the head of the jetty on the northern side and was still in use in the 1950s. In the early 1900s, bathing was segregated. Men and women swam on separate days. The Rotary Club of Wynnum and Manly, together with the Wynnum Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders Corporation, have provided the various installations on this jetty as a symbol of mutual goodwill and to demonstrate our shared appreciation of Moreton Bay. The Rotary Club acknowledges the active support and cooperation of the Brisbane City Council in this project. There's some of the artists' names there that you can read. That's the timber jetty built in 1882. That picture taken in 1910. And some of the artwork sponsors there as well. Just down here. There's a couple of people in the pool, in the waiting tidal pool right now. All along here there's lovely little eateries and coffee shops. So this monument here was erected to the memory of Walter Henry Barnes, MLA, who died February the 19th, 1933, after representing Wynnum electorate for a period of 30 years. His race well run, his work well done. So that's about it for this part A, and I'll be doing part B in just a little while and uploading that for you soon. And in part B we'll go and have a look at the marina, the Manly Boat Harbour. A number of boating clubs are based in Manly, including the Royal Queensland Yacht Squadron. So we'll be talking about that a little bit later in part B of this video on Wynnum Manly. Don't forget to subscribe. I need as many subscribers as I can get. If I get over 1,000, I can do live streams and you can talk to me in real time. I really appreciate you watching this. This is Explorerman signing out.